Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Minecraft update video. This is Snapshot 23W03A, the first of the year, and it's for 1.19.4, which you might have noticed in the thumbnail of this video. The update cycles become a little bit more confusing because we saw a lot of 1.20 features in the previous 1.19.3 cycle. And that is actually the case with this one. There is one minor detail related to 1.20, so those changes are still subject to happen, but the majority of the content is all related to 1.19.4. The first of many general changes, we'll start with accessibility because there's one here that's quite a big deal. That is auto jump. It's now going to be set to off by default. Personally, I prefer this because I play with it off, but it got me wondering what the majority of players play with. So over on the community page of my channel, I posted this poll. Please do take the time after watching the video to vote on it, and let's find out what the majority of players actually use here. It will of course be linked down below in the description box. And if you're new here, be sure to hit the subscribe button if you want to keep up to date with this update cycle. Now let's crack on. So more changes related to accessibility. You can now use the arrow keys on your keyboard to navigate through this menu. One thing I'll point out is that it actually stays highlighted. The arrow keys will also work in the resource pack menu where you can move these side to side, but you can't change the order of them like you can with the mouse. And if you want to interact with a slider where you just press enter or spacebar to select it, and then you can move it from left to right with the arrow keys. And you might have noticed this, notification display time. This allows you to extend the duration of subtitles, advancements and recipes, and you can have this set to 10 times the normal speed or half of it. Next up, we have a change to the Vex's attack animation, although that's only when it's not holding items. So let's see it charge with the sword. You can see that it raises one arm into the air. If I summon one in here that's not actually holding anything, it'll charge with both hands raised, which actually looks really quite cute for some reason. And let's just see that all one last time. A renamed armor stand will now remember its name when placed down and then broken. Let's of course break it in survival mode, and you can see it remembers its name. Now when placed on the majority of blocks in this game, fire will eventually start to burn out after a random amount of time. And this effect actually happens faster in some biomes, meaning that they will burn out quicker. So the bamboo jungle, mushroom fields, mangrove swamps, snowy slopes, frozen peaks, swamp and jungle are these biomes. And they've now been put into a tag list called Increased Fire Burnout. So if you wanted to customize the biomes that burn out fire quickly, you can do so with that tag. Similar to this, certain biomes cause snow golems to take melting damage. And once again, this can be controlled with a tag list, which is Snow Golem Melts. And the biome in which the Snow Fox variant spawns will be controlled by the tag Spawns Snow Foxes. And it's a similar dealio for the White Rabbit, which has the tag Spawns White Rabbit. And there is also a rename for this one, which has been shortened to Spawn Gold Rabbits. Next, we have a game rule change that is just utterly fantastic. That is because there is a limit to the amount of blocks that commands can modify in the world, so the new game rule is Command Modification Block Limit. If I try and turn this large area here to snow, it rejects it because there's too many blocks. Let's just go ahead and set a ridiculously larger block limit here. And now it will allow us to run this command. No surprise, there was a big lag spike. Oh, and also I was supposed to set snow blocks, so it'd actually be filled in. This not only applies to fill, but to clone and fill biome too. And speaking of the clone command, it will now allow you to specify dimensions in which you are cloning from and ones you want to target. So in other words, you can copy things from one dimension to another. Now another really exciting feature of this snapshot is a new command known as Ride. To use it, you type /ride, you look at an entity, you get their UUID, and then you specify if you want to mount or dismount, and then you get the UUID of another mob. And then when you press enter, it's going to put one on top of the other. The cow is now riding the creeper. Now that was a little confusing, have no worries, because with these commands you can also specify simply a type. Remember to put a limit of 1 here and then a distance in which to search for. So we're looking for a creeper, and then we're also looking for a cow. So if we go ahead and activate this, it'll find the creeper and the cow here, and one will now be riding the other. Now what I've done here is I've specified the entity on the right, and now we're specifying the one on the left, and as you can see, you can have a little fun stacking up a bunch of mobs. And on the website we get more clarification as to how this command works. It's broken down into target and vehicle, and it actually explains how the command will fail. So if the vehicle is a player, you can't mount another mob on top of you. If your target is already riding a vehicle, it won't mount. If they're the same entity, it won't work, and if the vehicle is already a passenger, directly or indirectly, of the target. So if I tried to mount this cow here on top of that creeper there, nothing would happen. We also have the dismount ability too, so you can see there that we dismounted the cow from the one below, yet it keeps its passengers riding above. Now all of this entities riding entity stuff has been doable for a long time with commands, but this new ride command just makes it a lot easier and more accessible for players to goof around and have a little bit of fun. And speaking of fun, I'm wondering if it's possible to ride the Wither. And it seems that the answer is yes. I'm officially riding a Wither, but it doesn't have much to target at the moment. Well, I guess it could just target me. And rather predictably, we're just going straight up into the sky. Right, I've given it some things to aim at, and I'm going to admit this is slightly anticlimactic. I thought that riding the river would be pretty immense. It's pretty cool when it makes a dash and moves about. Anyways, I'm sure there's lots of ways to have fun with this new ride command. Now the data command has a new source available, and I'm told that this enables you to do string parsing, which is supposedly quite powerful. However, this stuff goes right over my head. The execute command has two conditions, if and unless. So you are able to run an execute command if the location is loaded, for example, or unless it's loaded. And you can also verify one dimension to another. Another subcommand that's been introduced is on, so this allows you to select entities based on their relationship to an existing entity. So you can see if one entity is the vehicle of another, or if it's a passenger. You can see if one of them is controlling another, or if it's an owner, like a player having a pet, for example. There's also leasher, target, and attacker. The title command's times parameter has now been changed so that the numeric number needs a D, an S, or a T following it. I can only assume this is ticks, days, and seconds. And the same thing has been applied to the weather command, so again, days, seconds, and ticks is what I'm assuming. And exactly 5 seconds later, it starts to rain, so I'm pretty sure the T is for ticks. Now, at the beginning of the video, I mentioned there was a minor 1.20 change. It's related to mopeds and placing them on top of note blocks, which was pretty straightforward, right? But normally when you right-click on a note block, it would change the note. However, if you're holding ahead, it will simply just place it down. And lastly, when it came to bug fixes, there wasn't too much to talk about. However, this one was related to 1.20. When I hop on here, notice how I'm the second player. In the bug report, it said that, you know, you'd hop on and be the first player, but it seems to not be happening for me. And here's another change that caught my eye. The way in which you move when you take damage is now related from which direction you actually take the damage from. So the wobble effect now sort of correlates to the direction. Let's just keep trying that. I can certainly see it. It might take you a moment to spot it, but you now wobble based on what way you've been hit from. And that is actually like a really helpful bit of information. If you're being attacked when you're caving, the animation can sort of give you a hint as to where the damage came from. And last of all, a quick throwback to the website. There's a whole bunch of technical changes, stuff that generally goes over my head. We got network protocol changes, packet bundles, and some changes to chat components. So if you need to look up any of this stuff, the article will be linked in the description box below. Also down there will be the poll. Let me know if you use the auto jump feature or not. And if you've been wondering where I am this month, I've been taking a bit of a break. Hermitcraft is going to start up again at the beginning of February, so thank you for being patient with me. And now that we've reached the end of the video, I want to send you over to linktree.asuma.co. There's links to my channels, but also other stuff you might not know that I do. Like I write about music, I also make music that you can listen to on Spotify or on Bandcamp. There's videos of me playing guitar, some clips playlists, a picture of the setup that I record on, loads of cool stuff for you to go and discover. So if you're looking for more, go check it out. Otherwise, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.